I'm speaking with Tasha Hilderman today, and she has written a book about being Métis. And it's an interesting story that you have to tell, and I know that it resonated with me for sure. I think I grew up in a very similar situation to you that you describe in the book. But first of all, what inspired you, I guess, to write this book?
Well, when I was growing up, we knew we were Métis, but we didn't really have a big connection to it. My grandfather was very quiet, my mom's dad, so we're Métis on my mom's side. And my grandmother was Ukrainian, so she was the talker, and kind of everything was kind of coming from that angle. Um, and then as I got older, I wanted to connect more to being Métis, but I didn't find a lot of resources. And there weren't a lot of children's books about being Métis, and I've got 3 children. And so I really wanted there to be something for people who were Métis like me to be able to find.
Yeah, now what does the book cover? How deeply do you go into things here with the kids?
The story kind of goes along with a bunch of different Métis children and how they relate to being Métis. So some of them, they bead with their grandparents, or some of them go fishing, or some of them pick Saskatoons. And so there's just a bunch of children with all different skin tones relating how they connect to their Métis culture. And then there's a child who says, I don't know the history of our people, and I don't do any of those things. And another child says, it's never too late. You can learn now. And even if you aren't Métis, you can still enjoy our food and spend time with us and share in our stories and do our crafts and learn about the Métis people.
What has the reception been to the book? I know you had a reading at the library recently, but otherwise, what are people saying about it?
The reception has been amazing. There's been lots of little kids, like I'm doing some readings in the schools, and I did a reading at Midwest Family Connections this morning. So children who aren't familiar with it just like the story, and they like the pictures, and they like the feel. The cover of the book is actually embossed with the beadwork, so it has a texture to it. So all the kids really like kind of feeling that. Um, and then there's a lot of people that are my age or adults who are saying, this is me in that story. And I grew up not connected to some things, and I really want to be connected to things now. And this is a great resource also for me to give my kids, because they didn't have anything like this. And there's been a lot of emotions around it, surprisingly, like people getting really welled up towards the end of the story and being like, it's almost like permission to say, yeah, it's okay for you to connect to things now. And it's okay to not know or not have been brought up in certain aspects. Like you can go learn how to fish now. I never grew up fishing. My dad wasn't a fisherman. And my grandparents, were in the prairie, they were farmers. So that wasn't an aspect of my lifestyle. But now my relatives do it, and my brothers learned how to do it and get into everything. So it's never too late. And it's a great community to be a part of, because everybody is so welcoming and so willing to teach and share.
All right, Tasha. So, what comes next for you? Obviously, you've done this excellent book now. What is next for you?
Well, I'm going to be going up to Métis Crossing up at Smoky Lake next weekend, I guess. June's flying by for Métis Fest up there. So I'll be up there with the book, and then hoping to go back to Batoche in Saskatchewan next month. But the book is actually selling really well, so they're getting low on copies. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough copies left to do that this year. And then I have some other books in the works. They're not Métis based. The next one is coming out August 5th of 2025, and it's called Lights at Night, and it really celebrates kind of how we use light throughout the year on the prairies, and the ways that we connect with it, whether that's through northern lights or fireworks or campfires or Christmas lights, or the lights above the football field. So really wanted to represent this region, so there's lots of fields and like combine lights and things like that. So I'm excited for that one too.
Yeah, we used to go up on a big hill near our farm and watch all the combines down in the flat every year.
Yes. And when I was doing the illustrations, my editor is from Toronto, and she's like, well, should we say tractor lights instead, because more kids would understand? I'm like, no, combine lights are special. They're like these gigantic dinosaur alien things in the fields. Like, it's a specific kind of light, and we have to represent the lights from from this region and these kids. So
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Tasha, thank you so much for shedding some light on being Métis like you and me, and also for writing this book. I think it's great that you've taken that upon yourself and are spreading the good word to kids that may not know how to handle that.
thank you so much.